I'm Diana McCullum.
Hey, I'm Andrew Ogme.
And this is the season finale of Fan vs. Fan for The Flash.
Bye.
I promise you, I'm gonna take from him what he took from you.
You want to kill this guy?
I want him to suffer for everything that he's done.
A race, Barry, between you and me, to see who's the fastest man alive.
You want revenge? If that's why you're doing this, you will lose. Run. The Flash.
All right, on the season finale of The Flash, we continued with the death of Henry. We then see the death of Zoom, captured by time wraiths. A lot of death going on. We got Wells and Jesse going back to Earth 2, and turns out the man in the mask looks like Henry Allen. Not Henry Allen, it was Jay Garrick, but not the Jay Garrick we've known so far. A new Jay Garrick who looks like Henry Allen. It's not confusing at all. Let's get him back to Earth 3, and then Barry restarts all of time. Here we go, it's the finale. Alright, so let's talk pros about the finale. Diana, what did you think?
Alright, I'm gonna make a hard call here.
Drop those hard calls.
The ending. I'm gonna pro the ending.
You're gonna pro the ending. You're gonna pro.
pro?
Okay, all right. That is. You know what? That's a tough
It's a
call.
bold stance.
That's a tough call.
It's a
Someone had to
bold
make
stance.
it. Someone had to make it, but I respect it.
I'm gonna pro the ending.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that this is gonna be cool. I like the idea of doing a full, like,
A hard restart.
a hard restart.
Okay.
I think it's bold.
Okay.
I think it's fun. I'm excited for next season to see what this changes. I like the idea of being able to, like, fix everything they've ever messed up.
Right.
Like, I like the idea that, like, you know, characters we miss could come back, characters we don't miss might be gone.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the idea that Iris might not be his sister if we change the timeline correctly.
I mean, like, I respect your choice, but I am gonna say that's a pretty damn loose pro. Just to be like, one of my pros about this episode is possibility.
Well, no,
like,
but,
that's
like, it
real. That's
surprised me.
real loose.
It surprised me, and I feel like they built to it nicely. Like,
Okay.
both his parents dying, Wells and Jesse leaving. Like, he really had lost everything. But
Right.
yeah, it wasn't just the idea of more to come that I liked. I think it built nicely. It was justified. I'm excited for what it will bring. I thought it was well acted. I liked it.
It was definitely well performed. I'll give that to for both Barry and his mother. That was a good scene for the two of them to have. But I don't know. It sets up all this potential, but it doesn't really give me an idea on what to expect next season. I could, like you, bless you for putting all your trust in them. I mean, like, they're gonna do great. They're gonna do great, but, like, I could believe that it's gonna be great, but also I feel like I worry about the betrayal of my trust that next season will start and it'll be like, you know what, let's spend one episode making that didn't work out right. Let's rewrite it to the timeline you guys knew. Or it's not gonna be a hard reset of history and it's gonna be like a real soft, we just brought a couple characters back to life real casually because we liked a couple actors, but we didn't fix any of the writing. Like, that is a concern. I respect the pro, but I also am more concerned.
That's fair. I guess I'm just more willing to have my heart broken.
Hey,
I'm braver than
You're putting
some.
it out there. You're putting it out there, and I respect that.
I'm the brave and the bold over here.
All right, all right.
Don't let me down.
Okay.
Season 3 of The Flash.
Okay, I'll give you that. I will say that I want to see Earth 3. Like, now that we have John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick the Flash.
You're like, that's the only place I can get John Wesley Shipp.
That's what I want.
There.
I don't know if what Barry does to the timeline affects the other Earths once the portals are closed. I feel like there's some very specific time travel instances there. But I want next season to just, let's not even address Barry changing the timeline. Let's just go straight to Earth 3, and the show's now just John Wesley Shipp as the Flash.
I'd watch
That's
it.
all we need.
I'd watch it.
That's
that
all we
would
need.
never break my heart.
Yeah.
That would never break my heart.
Yeah, but yeah, so John Wesley Shipp is going to be one of my pros for this episode. I think the death moment in, I know it was last episode, but the death moment in last episode, the dying breaths with Barry off the top here, leading to that very well choreographed sequence right off the beginning of the episode, the fight scene between Zoom and Barry, which was very well done. And then the return of John Wesley Shipp as Henry Allen at the end, or not as Henry Allen, but as Jay Garrick. It was a reveal that we had called it. We were kind of hoping for it, and it made me happy that what we expected, what we anticipated, was what we were given. I didn't really want some out of left field BS to come at me there. I'm just kind of like, give me the thing that makes sense, because so far this season you haven't always given me the thing that makes sense. And they gave me that, and in a good emotional like payoff as well.
I totally agree, because I think our two main ideas for Man in the Mask were Henry Allen or Zoom's dad.
Right.
And if it had been Zoom's dad, that would have been awkward and weird. Been like, hey, you killed your wife, huh? Like that would have been a weird ending to that.
Yeah.
I feel like I do feel betrayed by their use of body doubles in this show, though. Because Zoom always looks like Henry Allen, and that guy in the cage was way too skinny to be John Wesley Shipp.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, there's a reason we didn't obviously guess John Wesley Shipp, because that guy did not have a John Wesley Shipp body.
Yeah, they had some bad placeholders for being the body type. Yeah, it didn't fill out that suit at all.
No. Like, I
feel doing no favors to John Wesley Shipp.
He deserves better. That man works very hard.
The man's got the shoulders of a truck. Like, you can't just throw anyone in that suit.
Nah, you gotta be filled out.
Yeah.
It's gotta be great. I loved John Wesley Shipp, and I'm glad he's Jay. I'm glad that was the reveal.
Yes.
I'm also really impressed, because I'm the kind of person who does this. I always check opening credits for who's gonna be in an episode.
Okay.
And they were really smart to have him still be alive when the episode started. So when I saw his name in the credits, I didn't think, he's going to be alive at the end.
Okay, I get that.
Because the actor had already had a line.
Right.
So I was like, ooh, smart work, because I would have like spoiled it for myself by reading the credits.
Okay.
It's like a little thing that I do, which is terrible to myself.
All right.
Yeah, I like to just hurt myself and then trust the CW with my heart.
You're complicated.
Complicated lady.
I will move past that and not draw too much attention to it, and say that my other pro of the episode was Wally. Actually, I feel like this was the most defined we've ever seen Wally's character be so far in the show. Just like immediately forgiving when he finds out Barry is the Flash, being a reasonable adult human being, being like, I forgive you, I get it, I understand, thank you, what do we need to do next? And just like real like practical, dynamic, moving forward, and like he wants to be the hero and he's trying to be the hero and he's driving the plot in that direction by acting like a reasonable, heroic adult instead of like a foolhardy rush into battle kind of thing. It's a big evolution they've taken from the guy who liked to drag race, which seems so foreign now after this episode. To remind yourself, when he showed up, he was the guy who was drag racing away his problems. It doesn't even seem like the same character, because I think they've really kind of figured out who Wally is. And it showed in this episode. And his range showed.
I 100% agree. Wally grew so much this season. He arced well. I just the relief I felt when he didn't give everyone a hard time about not telling them Barry was the Flash. Because we've had so many characters, mostly Iris, be like, "Why didn't you tell me you were the Flash?" And it was just so exhausting. And for him to just be like, "I get why you didn't tell me. Thanks for giving up your powers a couple episodes for me." Like, so mature, so heroic. Yes, very well. I still want him to be funnier.
And I would like him to be a little funnier too.
It wasn't the episode for it.
Yeah, but that's but also that's just a decision that I'm okay with the fact that they didn't. I'm okay with the fact that they didn't make him the funny guy, and now at least he's a character that makes sense, and that's all I really want.
That's the important thing.
And just the emotion that he conveyed in that moment where Joe had been lost to Earth 2, and he comes in and like they all say like, "Oh, we agreed that we won't open that portal again." He's like, "I didn't agree to that." When he's breaking down, doing the "I didn't agree to that" before he gets Barry out of the prison, that was really well done.
No, it was he was solid all the way through. I liked the characters' choices. I liked the actors' work.
Yep.
Great work, Wally. You've really sold me over the course of the season.
Boom. So those are pros. Let's get into what we didn't like. Let's talk cons. So, cons about the season finale. Diana, what didn't you like?
Everything involving time.
Okay.
Except the end. Even some parts of the end.
Okay.
Oh my god, if they broke one more of their own time rules, I was gonna snap something.
Their rules make no sense anymore.
And like, they used to be really good about following their own time rules, which is the only reason I'm mad. Like Legends of Tomorrow has never made sense, so I'm okay with it. It never tried to make sense.
Sure.
It's a time travel show, that's why I bring it up.
Sure.
But Flash used to really follow its own rules.
Yeah.
Time remnants are garbage. They don't make any sense.
Time Revenants and Time Wraiths, I feel like, are just some real convenient plot devices that no one's really fact-checking anymore.
Yeah, just to get some emotions in there that weren't earned quite. Yeah, just because if you, all right, should we try to do the math on a Time Remnant?
I mean, you could try.
All right, so like you're here.
Yeah.
you're here, and you go back in time to, like, when you were here. So there's two of you.
Yeah.
But if this one, the first one, dies, then you never go back, and there's never two. So if a time remnant dies, it means it's you at the end of your life. That's the end of you, from what I can understand.
Like, I think that's correct. Now, here's the thing. I'm willing to accept that. Time remnants, I would totally 100% buy into this idea of a time remnant in this show if they were just consistent in their own damn logic. Because that's the other problem, is that it's like, oh, we're creating time remnants. We went back in the past 1 minute, one of us died. And it'd be like, is it the one from 1 minute in the future or 1 minute in the past? And it's like, don't worry about it. But I'm like, all right, fine, you know what? I won't worry about it. And this, actually, like, to tie it back into one of my pros, which was Wally, I even like Wally's line at the end, which really sounded like the writers kind of directing to the audience, when Joe was like, is that how I look when you guys talk about science stuff? And Wally's like, you know what, all this time stuff, don't worry about it. And he, like, brushed it all off to the camera, and I'm like, I feel like that was for us. But anyway, so it's so inconsistent with the time remnants, because then, if that's happening, that multiple yous can exist and be murdered with no consequence, really, then why the hell did that Barry disappear at the end? Why did he Back to the Future out of there?
Exact point. Yes, exactly. Like his siblings in Back to the Future, he just faded away.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how anything we've discussed in the time travel of this show works.
Yeah, get your under the sea dance out of here. What the fuck is going on right now? I don't understand why he's not why there aren't like 8 time remnants. And if they were consistent with their own logic, that would be exciting to me. If Barry went back to stop the death of his own mother, and there was just a room with 23 flashes in it, all being like, and everyone's just yelling over one another, trying to explain what they know that the other doesn't.
This timeline?
That would be insanely hilarious and kind of cool. And then just like our Barry, like, oh no. But like, but instead, one fades away instead of time remnants, which they established is what exists.
Yeah, like there should have been at least 3 flashes in that moment.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because there should have been original Flash.
Yes.
Barry in the closet, and then this new Barry. That would have been insanely funny.
Yeah.
That's just a funny, like, who's gonna save mom?
Yeah.
sketch. But yeah, and like everything about time travel, and the time race, just like.
The time race makes
as soon as Barry time traveled earlier in this season,
yes.
a time race came after him. Zoom has a throwaway line where he's like, "They've been after me, but I avoid them." We're like, "How? They only just figured out how to stop them."
Makes no sense at all.
And then they come after him when Barry does it once. Like, there's no consistency in their own logic, which I hate, because it means you can just write anything.
And just that Deus Ex Machina at the end of like the time race being the ones that take Zoom away, and Barry's like, "Oh, when I created a copy of me, I knew they'd come for me, and I'd hope that they'd be madder at him." And I'm like, if they're madder at him, then why aren't they already here getting him? None of this makes any sense. He is making time remnants of himself like someone pops a Tic Tac. It is nothing. And no one ever...
Anyone
like
time remnant?
Every like couple minutes he's like, I need to feel refreshed, time remnant, murder. And no one ever comes out, and Barry does it once and he's like, I thought they'd be more mad at him. What? What does that mean? What does that mean to anything?
It was a real convenient way to have Barry not have to kill him. Because I was like, I don't know any other way to stop him because he's too powerful. Like, you can't put him in a cage. He'll just phase out of there. So I didn't know how they were going to do this. But yeah, I mean, and I'm even okay with the race being responsible, but they just didn't frame it well. Like, I think the race killing him is a great way to end this storyline. But it was not...
It could have been,
well done.
No, it was not well orchestrated at all.
It was a good endpoint that they didn't get too well.
Yeah, because we're dealing with that and the Magnetar, and I'm like, why is this Magnetar, which is the worst name for a scientific invention?
Like,
the amount of times they said Magnetar. We need to go to the Magnetar. Stop the Magnetar. And then Wells will be like, you can't stop the Magnetar. Or, you know what Harrison Wells sounds like.
It almost got to the point where I felt like Tom Cavanaugh had a hate-love relationship with the word and decided to say it as often as possible.
Right.
Wells said Magnetar like once every 30 seconds.
Magnetar.
All right, he's around the Magnetar. He's circling the Magnetar.
We're
all by the Magnetar as well, by the way.
You can't go to the Magnetar, Barry. You can't do it.
And it's like not even like a weird word they took from the comics. They made it up for the show.
Yeah.
This is the best word they could come up. Are we out of words?
Yeah, so
are
we got
at the point where there
Magnetar,
are
we
no
got
words?
Time Wraiths, we got Time Remnants. None of it quite makes any sense. And it all easily could have been all strung together so well. It's as simple as a matter of being like, the Time Wraiths at the end of it, they were more mad at Zoom, but they were like, Barry, we're coming for you next. And now Barry's scared, so he goes back in the past and changes time, hoping that in the new timeline, maybe the Time Wraiths won't be looking for him because he's never a speedster, so the Speed Force would never want anything back. So maybe you can create a whole dynamic there where he's like, let's get a happier future, and where I don't get sucked away into this terrifying time dimension that the Time Wraiths take you away to. They could have connected it all, and they just never bothered.
Yeah, I feel like the show really fell apart as soon as they revealed who Zoom was. Yeah. It seemed like they planned up until that episode and nothing else. What was your
real quick? I just got to throw some shade and hate at the performance of Caitlin. Caitlin Snow. Again. This was the worst. I don't know what's been happening with her. It's the worst it's ever been. I rewatched a couple of her scenes where she's just, I am sorry, Jay. She actually sounds like Siri. Like she's just, I am sorry, Jay. I am so, and she keeps saying, she says sorry a lot in that one scene, and she says all of them sorry.
And it's
like
weird
like a baby child. I don't know.
Well, maybe someone explained that scene to her badly, because like she is a hologram, but she's a hologram of herself. She's like being videotaped and made into a hologram, but she's acting it like she's a computer.
Yeah. Now you brought this up when we were watching it, which I say that she has just gone off the rails as an actor, because even aside from the hologram scene, at one point when they're all in Star Labs, they've just had a scene where Jay Garrick is like, I just want to conquer all of the Earths. I'm looking for more worlds to conquer. And then Barry comes back to the lab, and Caitlin walks up to Barry and goes, when I was captured with Jay, he said that he was looking for more worlds to conquer. I'm sorry, Barry. This is too much. What is going on? What is going on? I don't understand it.
Do you know that she has been nominated for an MTV Award for Favorite Sci-Fi Actress?
Woo! That's enough of cons. Let's get right into Easter eggs. All right, so Easter eggs. Diana, what did you find?
All right. Well, at one point, Harrison Wells says there could be infinite Earths.
Ooh.
Which is a little different, because before we said there are only 52. There's New 52.
Right.
Infinite Earths are kind of a big deal on the DC Comics, because there used to be infinite ones, but then there was a crisis on Infinite Earths, and they all got merged into like one.
Right.
And then 52 again. It's complicated stuff with the Earths. But this is important because we know that Barry disappears in a crisis, according to that newspaper.
Right.
So if there's a crisis on Infinite Earths, maybe Barry's gonna...
Which kind of this was, and kind of a Barry did.
I mean...
Well, yeah, that's
that
why,
newspaper's from like 20-something bigger.
Yeah, but time's been changed at least a couple times so far.
Yeah.
Like... Even like when you consider that like
every time remnant is a different timeline.
It seems ages ago, but Reverse Flash was changing time like a crazy. So like if we got Reverse Flash changing time, Flash changing time, who knows what the hell Jay Garrick, Hunter Zolomon, Zoom, Other Dimension, Time Remnant like a Tic Tac is doing. Maybe this was the crisis on Infinite Earths?
I mean,
question mark, maybe.
If he never comes, but if he... I mean, like, he's supposed to disappear, but if he disappears in time...
But I also get the impression that this was the explosion that Cisco was vibing. When he's like, I'm vibing all of the Earths exploding. And it's like, oh, that's Crisis on it. You're all of the Earths, and it's Infinite Earths.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like anything was actually happening to those Earths. Does he see the actual future or possible futures?
I think he was seeing they kept saying you can see the future now ? Which was also kind of my reaction. But yeah, he was seeing like Earth 2 exploding, and it was because Zoom was going to blow up the other. I think this was supposed to be the crisis, and even with the way that Time Remnant Barry dies, it felt a little crisis-y.
I don't think this was the crisis.
No?
I think this could have been a crisis.
Okay.
But it wasn't.
Okay.
Although a Flash does die in every crisis. That's kind of
there
his
you go.
thing.
Yep.
But we only lost a remnant.
Which...
Forget about it, as Wally says.
You know what? As Wally says, man, we're just family. Or whatever he said. I don't quite remember.
So John Wesley Shipp ending up being Jay Garrick of The Flash of Earth 3.
Yeah.
That's a super fun Easter egg because, as we mentioned before, John Wesley Shipp was the 90s Flash.
Yeah.
And he's the Flash again. It's all just coming full circle.
Yeah, and he had like a jacket that was like it was a lot closer anyway to 90s Flash. Like it definitely wasn't spot on.
It was more Jay Garrick-y. But yeah, if you want to imagine in your head that Earth 3 is just the 90s Flash TV show, I think we can accept that.
I am imagining that.
I thought you could.
He's been that the whole time there on Earth 3. That's who that's been, and it's been great. Oh boy.
And so at the very end of this, we also got pretty much a straight up telling, well, we'll see if it's a straight up telling, of Flashpoint Paradox. A very famous, great storyline where Flash goes back in time to save his mom from being killed by Reverse Flash, and then it changes the entire timeline. Bruce dies instead of Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Barry doesn't get any powers, so he's not the Flash at all. Then like Aquaman and Wonder Woman invade the entire world. It's a pretty crazy storyline.
Yeah, he's trying to get his powers back. Yeah.
So at the end of Flashpoint Paradox, actually I won't ruin it, but yeah, this is pretty much.
Good call. No, good call. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good call. I like that you're like, yeah, here's an Easter egg, and anyway, here's how season 3 might end. Like, I mean, I guess some people know, but like we can dial it down there.
But it's pretty much it's the exact same story. He went back to stop his mom from being killed. Huge repercussions.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if they're gonna do like just like one episode or an entire season of this.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a satisfying answer for me. Like, I think that if they do one season, I'm going to be like, really? You did all of that in the finale to rewrite everything to try to wrap it up again in a neat little package in one episode? But if they do like a full season, I'll be like, this isn't a full season. We just had the wonky time travel season. I don't know. I'm really confused as to how it's going to play out. And also, this changes everything. Like, this should change Arrow. This should change Legends of Tomorrow. This changes Supergirl because that crossover already happened, but now Supergirl's coming to the CW, so like they're gonna need to do an Earth thing. But it has changed all of the other shows too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if she doesn't die, there's huge repercussions because that means Harrison Wells won't be killed. The particle accelerator won't explode. I mean, those two changes alone are going to be huge to the timeline.
Yeah, game changers.
I mean, it's probably how they're going to bring like characters back that they wanted to be alive and kill other people off. It's going to like in any show. You can go to any of the CW shows and be like, this person's alive, this person's dead.
Flat out,
Flash changed the timeline.
Legends of Tomorrow should maybe go back to like original Firestorm with Ronnie, or that explosion wouldn't even happen. There would be no Firestorm. Firestorm just disappears off of Legends of Tomorrow. Bye bye, Martin Stein and Jefferson. You're gone.
Yeah, I feel like episode 1 next season will just be the Legends of Tomorrow being like, we watch time for things. You can't do this.
Yeah, I think like a couple of them would be consistent. Like, yeah, it would be like
Rip
Hunter, and like other stuff we won't spoil if you don't watch the Legends of Tomorrow. But yeah, it'll be like 3 out of 6 characters will be like anyway, and then just see 3 people disappear and be like, that don't seem right.
Something just happened.
Something's wrong here.
We should investigate where our teammates just disappeared to.
Yeah, this changes everything.
Yeah, it's all changed. And I'll be curious. I feel like it should be like 3 episodes of Flashpoint Paradox. Yeah. Because that'd be fun. It would be enough fun with the changes. Like, you get a different Harrison Wells. Maybe you get like Eddie back. Maybe you get Ronnie Firestorm. And then you're just like back to the status quo.
So with the big 4-way crossover coming up, I don't think that's going to play into all of this because I don't think any of that was set up or prepared when this episode was written. I mean, Supergirl not being picked up at CBS was a fairly recent development, and I am pretty confident that this episode had far finished its production schedule by the time any of that news came out. So it might be possible that they're going to pivot the storyline to incorporate into what will be the big 4-episode crossover once Supergirl moves over to CW. But I definitely don't think they prepared for that or planned for that or was their intention in any way.
I totally agree. Yeah, I don't think this was we have to get Supergirl into our universe story. But now that she is, they can definitely be like, well, this can all tie in nicely.
Yes, yeah.
Because I feel like the point of the 4 crossover will be getting Supergirl into the universe. Because she's in a different universe. Yeah. Everyone else is in one universe, but she's on a different Earth, and she has to get here. So I think we have to have some worlds crash into each other.
Definitely.
Or she has to get stuck here, which would be sad, because then she'd lose her entire supporting cast if she got stuck in the other universe. So
a couple people get stuck with her.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird.
Come on, Jimmy. Let's go through this portal thing.
Just Jimmy and I.
Just the dumbest episode of Supergirl ever. Just a big portal opens in the office. She's like, oh, this is crazy, Jimmy. Let's go. Ah, oopsie doodle. We're here now.
Grant.
Yeah.
We'll never see you again.
That's it. Good night,
CW's
everybody.
for 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Harsh but true. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out coming up this fall.
We gotta see wherever everything else is going. Like Legends is doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Arrow. I'm not gonna talk about what Arrow did.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we don't want to spoil things, but yeah, Arrow's weird. Yeah, it's all interesting to see how it's gonna play out.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but the important thing is we'll be back here doing it. We'll be back here doing this again.
Whoa, here?
Yeah.
This table?
Probably.
Can I sit there?
We could buy new tables.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I sit there though?
No.
Oh.
But new table maybe. Yeah. But yeah, we'll be back for the fall season. Thank you so much for watching Fan v Fan this season and tweeting along with us and live chatting with us and just in general being awesome fans. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And make sure you don't miss us when we come back. Follow Dorkshelf on Twitter at Dorkshelf. Subscribe on YouTube so you'll get notified when there's more.
Yeah.
And you can find us on FromSuperheroes.com.
Yeah.
We got some texts and videos and podcasts to keep you good all summer.
We also podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm Diana McCullum.
I'm Andrew Rodney.
We'll see you next season.
Yeah. See you in the fall.
Kicked him out.